If you are a part of education in 2001, you may have been one of the many that never dreamed No Child Left Behind would still be impacting your role in education today. When educators were given the lofty goal of 100% at proficiency or above in math and reading by 2014, many believed that it wouldn't become a reality or an issue because it would go away. I'm Stacy Green, and I'm a Title I teacher and curriculum leader at Stockton Grade School, USD 271 in Stockton, Kansas. No Child Left Behind hasn't gone away, and I would like to take this opportunity to share with you an update on No Child Left Behind. No Child Left Behind Act of 2001 was signed into law on January 8, 2002 by President George W. Bush. It was considered to be the most sweeping reform since the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965. It redefines the federal government's role in K-12 education. There are 4 basic principles of No Child Left Behind. Increased flexibility, Number 1, stronger accountability for results. 2, increased flexibility and local control. 3, expanded options for parents. And 4, an emphasis on teaching methods that have been proven to work. I will now elaborate on each one of these 4 basic principles. Stronger accountability for results. Each state will implement a statewide accountability system. The system will include rewards and sanctions. All districts and schools must make adequate yearly progress, AYP, and public schools and districts are working to achieve 100% proficiency by 2014. Let's focus on Kansas and see what we've done with this accountability for results part of this. We set 5 criteria. The first, state reading assessment results. Student groups must meet or exceed the annual targets. Students are assessed annually in grades 3 through 8 and once at the high school level. State mathematics assessment results. Again, student groups must meet or exceed the annual targets. Again, this assessment is given annually in grades 3 through 8 and once at the high school level. State assessment participation results. There is a 95% participation rate that must be achieved, and again, there are many subcategories here that impact our special needs students. The fourth, an attendance rate criteria, measured at the elementary and middle schools with a goal of 90% or increasing from the year before. And the fifth, graduation rate, measured at secondary schools with a goal of 80%. And then once again, there are more targeted improvements there if you're working on a different scale, and these are available at KSDE's website. The second principle of No Child Left Behind was increased flexibility and local control. There are nearly 40 separate issues that are under the control and responsibility of state and local education agencies. Each of these 40 issues fall under one of these topic headlines: standards and assessments, elements of the AYP definition, AYP and state accountability systems, students with special instructional needs, AYP for unique schools, definition of persistently dangerous, and highly qualified teachers. The third basic principle was expanded options for parents. With No Child Left Behind, there is more availability for parents to have regarding the quality of their child's school. As a Title I teacher, I'm required annually to report this to parents. And also a choice to enroll in a higher performing school if your child is currently enrolled in a low performing school. That has always become a source of question for all of us in the rural areas where there are not other schools available to enroll your students in if your school becomes a low performing school. And then the fourth criteria for basic principles of No Child Left Behind was focusing on what works, an emphasis on teaching methods that have been proven to work. Here, the focus is where federal monies are spent on effective research-based programs and practices. One of the ones commonly heard at the elementary level is Reading First. Another focus is targeting funds to improve schools. When schools do not meet AYP for a second year, they are placed on improvement, and at this time funds are targeted to help them improve. And then funds are also utilized to enhance teacher quality. All teachers are required to be highly qualified, and there are title monies available to help those staff members become highly qualified and meet those criteria. The blueprint for reform. Reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. The blueprint builds on reforms that were made in response to the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. At this time, it was also called ARRA, monies were given to school districts to help them supplement education, especially when the budgets at that time were being impacted greatly. Here at USD 271, we used our ARRA money, which was given to us to use within a 2-year time period, on technology. We wrote out a plan that showed how we were going to increase student improvement in the areas of reading and math using technology. We were able to use these monies for professional development and also to purchase hardware and software to improve student learning. The blueprint was then released in March 2010. It incorporates and extends the framework of ARRA to include these key priorities: college and career ready students. And we consistently hear those words, college and career ready. That is a central thread of the Common Core state standards that Kansas has adopted. Great teachers and leaders in every school, equity and opportunity for all students, and raise the bar and reward excellence. Also with the blueprint release, Education Secretary Duncan made this comment in September 2011. We want to get out of the way and give states and districts flexibility to develop locally tailored solutions to their educational challenges while protecting children and holding schools accountable for better preparing young people for college and careers. The blueprint comes nearly a decade after No Child Left Behind became law and 4 years after it was due to be rewritten by Congress. We are still in a wait-and-see pattern. At this time, waivers have become the common language for changing parts of No Child Left Behind. Let's find out what Kansas is doing to move forward. There have been 3 districts in Kansas that have written their own waivers, and since that time, Kansas as a state has also written a waiver. This is a report from a newsroom in Kansas City, Kansas, about a district there.
Helping prepare students for post-high school graduation.
Now that's the goal behind the Kansas City, Kansas School District's waiver from the No Child Left Behind federal law. Amy Hawley's in the newsroom with more now. Amy?
The Kansas City, Kansas School District is one of 3 districts of Kansas that received the waiver. The change means students in 8th grade to 12th grade will not have to take the state exams in reading and math and sciences. Instead, federal education officials will track the students' progress using the ACT College Entrance Exam and another test called ACT Explore. District officials say the waiver now allows students to be more prepared for the real world once they graduate.
What it means is that we have a higher set of standards that are aligned to college and career readiness, rather than standards that are currently in the Kansas expectations that are aligned to curriculum but don't produce students who are truly college and career ready.
The other school districts include McPherson and Clifton Clyde. They're west of Kansas City. Kansas is also seeking a statewide waiver from some provisions of the No Child Left Behind law. If granted, Kansas schools would no longer face a 2014 deadline for ensuring that 100% of its students perform well on state tests. In the newsroom, Amy Howley, 41 Action News.
As this reporter shared, Kansas has turned in their flexibility waiver request. They did so on February 27, 2012. They did receive an April response from the United States Department of Education requesting that Kansas continue to clarify, develop, and revise the waiver request. There are 4 areas that each state must address when replying and working on the waiver. The first principle, again, the college and career ready expectations for all students. Principle 2, state developed differentiated recognition, accountability, and support. Principle 3, supporting effective instruction and leadership. And Principle 4, reducing duplication and unnecessary burden. There's a 216-page document that can be found on KSDE that goes over these flexibility requests. We did receive 1 waiver. Our AYP targets for the 2012 testing time were able to be reduced to the 2011 targets. And there are other waivers that have also been approved, and you can find more out about that also at KSDE. It will be very interesting to follow these 3 districts in Kansas, especially the one I've followed most closely is the McPherson School District, and how they will be using the ACT testing and pilot their look at AYP. These are the following references I used to develop this presentation. A large part of my information came from the websites, the EdGov, also KSDE, and then of course our an Essex text that's a guide on school law. I would encourage you as educators to stay informed about No Child Left Behind. We are getting closer and closer to that 2014 big year, and as educators, it's our duty and response to stay informed and be continually focusing on student improvement.